Hello everyone. Today video is about oldest architectures across the world. Watch full video and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Let's go. In France, the Eiffel Tower rose in 1887, forever changing the heart of Paris. Spain's Sagrada Familia began in 1882, still growing toward Gaudi's magnificent dream. The Palace of Westminster in England, rebuilt in 1870, stands proudly beside the River Thames. China's Summer Palace bloomed in 1750, blending lakes, gardens, and ancient royal halls. Schönbrunn Palace in Austria opened in 1696, showcasing Baroque grandeur and vast palace gardens. In 1682, France's Palace of Versailles became a dazzling royal symbol of power. The Potala Palace in Tibet was completed in 1649, towering above the holy city of Lhasa. India's Red Fort, built in 1638, guarded the Mughal Empire's powerful heart. In 1632, the Taj Mahal of India rose in marble to honor eternal love. St. Peter's Basilica, completed in Vatican City in 1626, crowns the Christian faith. The Meenakshi Temple in India reached its vibrant towers and colorful carvings in 1623. In 1616, Turkey's Blue Mosque opened its domes to the bright Istanbul sky. Russia's St. Basil's Cathedral, finished in 1561, dazzled Moscow with bold colors and shapes. In 1406, China's Forbidden City became the grand heart of imperial rule. Myanmar's Shwedagon Pagoda, rebuilt in 1372, gleamed brightly with golden devotion. Florence Cathedral in Italy began in 1296. France's Chartres Cathedral, begun in 1194, glows with centuries-old stained glass windows. The Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy tilted into history in 1173, still standing. In 1163, France began the Notre Dame Cathedral, Gothic pride of the city of Paris. Cambodia's Angkor Wat rose in 1113, the world's largest and most sacred temple complex. In 1102, Ethiopia's rock-hewn churches of Lalibela emerged from solid volcanic stone. The Tower of London in England grew in 1078. Mont Saint-Michel in France, founded in 966, became a stunning island monastery. In 960, England's Westminster Abbey welcomed kings and queens to be crowned. Spain's Alhambra, begun in 889, flourished as a Moorish palace masterpiece. Borobudur Temple in Indonesia rose in 800, a massive Buddhist stone mandala. In 537, Turkey's Hagia Sophia opened as the shining jewel of Byzantium. The Basilica of Maxentius in Italy, built in 312, crowned Rome's Grand Forum. In 216, Italy's Baths of Caracalla welcomed Romans to vast public bathhouses. Hadrian's Wall in England stretched across the land in 122, marking Rome's northern edge. Spain's Aqueduct of Segovia, built in 112, carried fresh water for centuries. In 118, Italy's Pantheon rose with the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome. The Arch of Titus in Italy, completed in 81, celebrated Rome's greatest victories. Rome's Colosseum, begun in 70, hosted spectacular games for the empire's people. The Theatre of Marcellus in Italy opened in 13 BCE to entertain Roman citizens. In 16 BC, France's Maison Carrée stood proudly as a Roman temple. France's Pont du Gard, completed in 19 BCE, carried water to the city of Nîmes. In 221 BCE, China's Great Wall began winding over mountains and vast deserts. Greece's Epidaurus Theatre, built in 340 BCE, perfected ancient acoustics and dramatic art. In 421 BCE, Greece's Erechtheion honored Athena with its famous Porch of Maidens. The Temple of Hephaestus in Greece, built in 449 BC, still stands beautifully preserved. In 447 BCE, Athens crowned the Acropolis with the Grand Parthenon. Jordan's Petra, carved in 500 BCE, became a legendary city of stone. In 518 BCE, Iran's Persepolis rose as the ceremonial seat of Persian kings. Italy's Roman Forum, begun in 700 BCE, bustled with politics and markets. The Temple of Apollo in Greece was raised in 1000 BCE to honor the gods. In 1200 BC, Sudan's Temple of Ammonius rose high in the desert sands. Greece's Treasury of Atrus, built in 1250 BC, guarded a powerful king's tomb. In 1264 BC, Egypt's Abu Simbel welcomed colossal statues along the River Nile. Luxor Temple in Egypt, begun in 1400 BC, lined its avenue with stone sphinxes. In 1479 BC, Egypt's Temple of Hatshepsut rose proudly from desert cliffs. The Palace of Knossos in Greece, built around 2000 BCE, was a grand Minoan maze. In 2000 BC, Egypt's Karnak Temple began growing into a forest of massive pillars. Iraq's ziggurat of Ur, built in 2100 BC, towered proudly over ancient Mesopotamia. The mastaba of Tahotep in Egypt, built in 2400 BC, honored a wise vizier. In 2400 BC, Egypt's mastaba of Ti preserved colorful scenes of ancient life. Malta's hypogeum of Halsaflini, carved around 2500 BCE, hid deep underground secrets. The Great Sphinx of Giza, built in 2500 BCE, guarded the pyramids with mystery. In 2510 BCE, Egypt's Pyramid of Menkaure rose high on the Giza Plateau. The Pyramid of Khafre, built in 2570 BCE, shone with bright white limestone. Egypt's Great Pyramid, completed in 2580 BCE, ruled the skyline for millennia. In 2600 BCE, India's Rakhigarhi thrived as a planned Harappan city. Harappa in Pakistan, settled by 2600 BCE. Pakistan's Mohenjo-Daro, from 2600 BCE, boasted advanced urban planning and design. In 2600 BCE, Peru's Caral Soup rose as the oldest city in the Americas. Egypt's Pyramid of Djoser, built in 2667 BCE, was the first step pyramid in history. In 2900 BC, Scotland's Callanish stones formed a mysterious and sacred stone circle. England's Stonehenge, begun in 3000 BCE, marked time and seasons in stone. Malta's Najdra temples, built in 3150 BCE, watched the rising sun over the sea. In 3150 BCE, Malta's Tarxian temples bloomed with carvings of spirals and animals. Scotland's Skara Brae, from 3180 BCE, preserved stone homes of ancient farmers. Ireland's Newgrange, built in 3200 BCE, aligned perfectly with the winter solstice sun. In 3200 BCE, Malta's Hagar Kim crowned the island with massive megaliths. Malta's Gantija temples, from 3600 BCE, raised colossal stone walls against the sky. In 3700 BC, Scotland's Nap of Howor sheltered early farmers from harsh winds. France's Barnenez tumulus, from 4800 BCE, hid ancient tombs beneath grassy mounds. In 6500 BCE, Pakistan's Mehrgarh began as a thriving farming village. Turkey's Çatalhöyük, from 7500 BCE, held crowded mud brick homes for early settlers. In 9000 BCE, Palestine's Tower of Jericho guarded a community of early farmers. Turkey's Göbekli Tepe, from 9600 BCE, crowned a hill with sacred carved stones.